Okay. By looking into the laws of nature or the laws of reason and nature's God as the ultimate justification for their revolution, the founders were asserting that there was an objective moral order in the world because the world was created by a benevolent and reasonable God. Since our minds are a gift from God and He intended us to use them, we can perceive much of this moral order through our rational faculties. We can't know through reason alone those things that only come directly from revelation, including 5 of the 10 Commandments. Aristotle, who lived hundreds of years before Christ, could not know about keeping the Sabbath holy, but he could know that one should honor one's parents and that theft and murder are wrong. You see what he's saying? It's like the example I use about the Sabbath. I mean, that's just, there's nothing to discover. You can't discover that. That was told by God. So some of the commandments are revelation commandments, but some, although revealed by God, can also be learned. For example, the idea that you should honor your parents could become that principle of honoring one's parents. You could use your rational mind to come to that conclusion. You could make an argument for it, or that you shouldn't steal. And John Locke makes the argument that you shouldn't steal because of person's property. That's the fruit of their body. Can't touch their body or the fruit of their body or the product of their body or the labor, the results of their labor. So that's why you can't steal. So you could use your mind to end up in that conclusion. Okay? But he could know that one should honor one's parents and that theft and murder are wrong. That is why Aristotle's teaching in his Ethics is almost perfectly compatible with the morality proclaimed in the Bible. This natural moral order exists outside of our will. It exists whether we like it or not. We are born into both a physical and a moral world that we do not create. Today, leftists think they can alter human nature, for example, by allowing children to choose gender reassignment surgery. But this will never work and will never lead to true happiness because we cannot change our nature. By contrast, the laws of nature and nature's God are fixed and unchanging. They serve as the ground for political authority and supply conventional or everyday law with sacred and transcendental authority. In establishing this foundation for American politics, the founders addressed the 3 problems mentioned above. First, they solved the split between piety and citizenship by supplying a common ground for morality. Since we can understand virtue and vice through our own rational facilities, the law can enforce moral precepts that are acknowledged by both political and ecclesiastical authorities. In other words, because the morality of the Bible and the morality of reason are compatible, one can be both a pious believer and a good citizen, while avoiding the contentious sectarian disputes that tore Europe apart. Second, this common ground of morality makes it possible to delineate in a clear way the political and religious realms. That the separation of church and state becomes possible for the first time can be seen most clearly in Jefferson's Virginia Bill for Religious Freedom. The Declaration's teaching about the laws of nature and nature's God establishes a kind of political theology, a non-sectarian ground of legitimacy that makes the laws sacred without getting the government involved in theological disputes about the Trinity, faith versus works, etc. According to many Protestant ministers of the founding era, this also allowed true Christianity to flourish for the first time because Christianity can be preached by choice rather than by coercion. Third, the founders solved the problem of religious persecution because the government and the churches can agree on a moral code that is compatible with both reason and revelation. Each can operate in its proper realm without intruding on the other. It becomes possible to institutionalize religious liberty by prohibiting religious tests for office and keeping government out of the business of punishing heresy. And finally, he ends up with this last paragraph. The American founders' invocation of the transcendent moral authority of nature is one of the most remarkable acts of statesmanship in human history. The question which we and all American patriots confront today is whether we still understand and appreciate this incredible gift of religious liberty bequeathed to us by the founders. Do we still have the knowledge and courage to keep alive the sacred fire of liberty?